If you're anything like me, when you play a new game, you're often wondering, am I doing this right? Should I be here? Am I supposed to even do this? Yeah, I ask myself those questions a lot. But I'm gonna give you 5 things that I wish that I have known sooner while I was playing Once Human. So first off, the first tip that I want to give is I did not know that you could quite literally move your entire house. When I first came across the game, you spawn in and they tell you, hey, you need to put down a little base of operations, yada yada yada. But as I looked at the map, I was like, dang, there's a lot of the map, and to say that I'm only in this smaller area, I might even want to move it. I might not even want to build an entire, place. Well, what you got to do is when you get inside your base, you got to make sure that you're in the area. You want to go ahead and press the B button, and once you press the B button, you can literally look to the left side of the screen and press Z, and you can move your entire house. Like, I can move it anywhere outside of my territory. Obviously, it's still right there, but I can move it anywhere I need to. So anything that you're building or that you built already, and you think to yourself, man, this is it. This is all that I got. You don't have to rebuild it. That is the good thing about this game. You do not have to rebuild it. You can literally just pick it up, go wherever you want to go. So say that you wanted to um, go way over here on a map or something like that. Literally just run over there, press B, and press Z, and you literally can just be able to put it down. That is literally an amazing tip. I did not know that. I was almost about to build like 2 different houses. Another tip that I wanted to give is do not waste all of your good materials on crafting lower tier guns. Honestly, that is a mistake that I had made when I first started the game. When you go to your gear workbench, whether it be intermediate or the regular workbench, you want to go to craft weapon, you can see that, say for instance, I had the scar, there are different tiers of weapons, right? And each tier does a little bit more damage than the last. So like your ultimate goal is, regardless if you like a gun and what color it is or not, you want to get tier 5 of that weapon, because whenever I first started, I was upgrading the tier 1 of this gun. And yeah, I had the materials to craft the stuff, but it just was not worth it, because not before long I was able to come over here and craft a tier 3 weapon that literally does almost 60 more damage. So it's just like that's not worth it. Another thing that I want to talk about is your ammo. Whenever you are making your ammo, try not to go balls to the wall on the copper stuff, because eventually you will be able to make the steel ammo. The steel ammo is so much better, trust me. It does way more damage. The damage per shot goes up, the PSI goes up, and it'll tell you like, yeah, it's not that hard to craft either compared to the copper. You'll go balls to the wall and you can get a lot of stuff, and they let you get a lot of ammo in this game. But don't worry about all that. Just make sure that you're switching your ammo. And if you do not know how to switch your ammo, this is a tip within a tip. You want to go to the gun that you have, right click on it, go to modify, and in the accessories, you can go all the way down to ammo, and it'll tell you every single bullet that you can put it in eventually. This lets you know, don't go so hard on copper ammo. Look, I made 1,000 of it. Get your steel ammo. Eventually, you'll be able to get the blue and the purple and the gold. Moving on to the third tip is to be wary of the, what's it called? Be wary of the Stardust Resonant Filter. Okay, guys, so there is a material that can go in there. It is called the Eclipse Cortex Level 1. I'm not sure if there's other levels to it, but this is something that I did not know. Whenever I was just, I was just reading that it could just purify the stuff, right? All house members have access to this, and whenever where was it at? Right here. It'll just tell you, placing items will attract hostile monsters. I did not read this part. Did not read this part at all. I was only reading this, and it was just telling me you get it from the deviants. You can put it up in the processor, and it'll give you the star chrome. The star chrome is a super important resource that you need in order to buy blueprints from the, I think it's called the slot machine or something like that. It is super important because the blueprints up in there are super good. I'm talking like really, really good. So whenever you do get this from the monsters, the deviants, and stuff like that, you want to be able to go ahead and put it up in here. Oh, sorry. Put it up in here, deposit it. But what I did not read was the type of monsters that it will bring out whenever I put it up in here. And you have to defend this thing for 3 full minutes. Didn't know that. All I saw was, oh, it'll give me 70 of this. And obviously, like I said, I want to get closer to those blueprints as I can. They got gold blueprints in those things. So I did not know that they would bring those monsters. It would tell you the recommended level, tell you how many players, the waves, and the number of elite enemies. Guys, I did this. All I did was hit Purify, and they came from everywhere. When I tell you they were outside of my walls, they were down here, they were busting open the doors, guys. They tore down pretty much all of my walls trying to get to this thing. And yes, I barely defended it, but after I defended it, and guys, keep in mind, I must have put like 8 of those things in there, so I think I had to defend it for at least 9 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. Guys, they were coming everywhere. And before I knew that, I was building my house with wood. Didn't know the difference. I was like, oh, I'm gonna just change it later. I might not even have to change it later because I didn't know that there was any threat at all to my house, honestly. That thing being in your house, take it out if you can. Like if you don't take it out, if you can probably put down like a foundation outside or something like that and then put it down. I had it in my house. I made the mistake of putting it in my house and activating it, and the monsters and the creatures came from everywhere and tore down pretty much all of this. You can see where I started to rebuild a little bit in stone, but eventually it's gonna need to turn into metal because that was insane. Didn't know that. If you got a lot of progress done on your house, you accidentally start that or start that not knowing, they are gonna tear down everything that you work for. And I'm telling you, I spent a long time on my house. That is tip number 3. Moving on to tip number 4 is to save your acid. And by save your acid, I quite literally just mean killing the mobs are actually useful for the acid that they produce. That's how you make your ammo. So you might think that the ammo comes a dime a dozen, but in all actuality, you actually have to kill mobs all the time in order to get the acid, in order to make the gunpowder. And what I mean by this is whenever you go to your supplies workbench and you hit craft, um, you um, you could the copper stuff a little bit, it's the same. I'm pretty sure all of it is the same if you want to make it, if you have the gunpowder. But the problem lies in getting the gunpowder. I can't even make it right now because you need the acid. And as you see, it says how to get explore the wilderness. Guys, quite literally, if you're just doing missions, that does make sense, and you will come across a decent amount of enemies. But a lot of the times, I see people just skipping right over the enemies and going straight for the objective without killing the mobs at all. Even the weaker mobs, honestly, they are the ones that drop the acid. They drop these little white blobs on the ground that you can get, and most of the time, it is acid. This is what you need to make the gunpowder. And although I did kill a decent amount of mobs in order to make 78 gunpowder, you can see right now, especially for the steel bullets, I have 78 gunpowder. I do need more ignits. That's only 360 bullets. Obviously, the steel ignits aren't the easiest to come by either, unless you are near some metal nodes or the tin nodes, I want to say. But most of the time, it's the gunpowder that you need, honestly. And not only will the mobs drop the acid, they will also just straight up drop the gunpowder sometimes. So don't be skipping over the mobs and just going for the objectives all the time. Trust me when I say it is a good tip to not skip over the mobs. And whenever you aren't, just going straight for the story mode stuff, spend a little bit of time and go do some of these side quests and actually kill the mobs that they do have there. It'll save you a lot of time later whenever you actually will need your bullets. And trust me when I say you want to be saving this stuff up. I wish I knew this before I started the game. Obviously, I have none. The last and final tip that I have for you guys is to make sure that you have a sniper rifle in your inventory. I'm obviously not using sniper rifle right now because I'm a lot further in the game, but early game, oh my Jesus. I wish that I would have known that the sniper rifle was just going to be doing that much damage. You can use the earliest level sniper rifle you got. You can see that mine is tier 2 right now. This thing, especially whenever you're just running around headshot and everything, so you do have a little bit of accuracy, it is one of the best early game weapons that you can use. And honestly, it was a lifesaver. It saved me so much ammo. And you can craft it. If you go to the crafting station, you should be able to, honestly, I'm pretty sure you get it as a blueprint, but it might be like the original pistol to where eventually you just level up and you get it. You might get it out of a missile crate, I'm not sure, but eventually you will be able to craft at least the green sniper rifle. Obviously, for the tier 1 and the tier 2, they start doing varying different damage, but it saved me so much ammo. I was able to run around and one shot most of the stuff in the game just with that green sniper rifle. Obviously, whenever you calibrate it, it does a little bit more damage. You calibrate the sniper rifle, and you are doing so much more damage. I have my calibration sniper rifle up to 4, and it's doing 571. This is just the green one, by the way. Um, it's giving me a little bit more range and stability whenever you calibrate it higher. I was running around, I think I was level 10. I must have been one-shotting level like 20 enemies, no joke. And whenever I would use any of my other guns, I was running out of ammo so fast. I was like, dang, I gotta go back to my house consistently and get ammo and, run back to wherever I was at or teleport back to wherever I was at. When in actuality, I didn't know that if you use this sniper rifle, I was able to just one shot most of the stuff that I was going through or wherever I was going, and then I would switch to my better weapons and then just mow down the rest of the enemies or the bosses or the more elite enemies. Even this thing even kills elite enemies pretty fast. Obviously, you can get a better sniper rifle, and that's better. But trust me when I say this is one of the best low like early game weapons that you can have in this game. I wish I had known that. It would have saved me so much ammo, so much gunpowder, and all the other stuff that I had just mentioned before this video. That's it for this video. Those are the 5 things that I wish I had known before I even started this game. Obviously, some things are like kind of common sense, but trust me, if somebody would have told me these things whenever I first started this game, I would have liked to know it because I would have saved so many resources. I would have saved so much stuff in general. And the bonus tip is, guys, don't just be using this on upgrading your weapons. Save it. You can only get it by extraction sites or the silos, which is pretty much the dungeons. Save this stuff. You want to save it because whenever you do get your purple and your gold weapons and you do find a weapon that you like, you want to save that as much as you can. That goes the same for the Stalkrom. The Stalkrom, I already mentioned it earlier in one of those tips. You want to make sure that you get as much as that of this as you can, so that you can buy some of the higher level blueprints. Those high level blueprints are going to be everything because once you get later into the game, it might start off a little easy, but once you get later into the game, you're not going to be running around one-shotting or even doing as much damage as you thought you was with a green or a blue weapon. So that's it for this video. Until the next video, be out.